Welcome back everyone to the channel. My name is Peacekeeper and for you guys. We're going to be talking about the age-old question. Is it easy to make coin as a free-to-play player? Let's get into it. Okay, so I've seen this question in a lot of different streamers' channels, in the comments, in the live streams. I see this comment all the time. Is it easy to make coin as a free-to-play player? Or even just like me, a solo player? And that can be answered in two ways, really, yes and no. And I'll show you here why. So the one of the easiest ways for me to always make coin in the game is to barter. Barter basically just trading the use of different items to trade without using money. That's just a different way of saying it. So as you guys can see, my Deke has reset. So let us just go in and see what he has basically for us. Okay, so we have helmet, we have some bags, we have more ammo, there's some mics. Not like the greatest things, but the best things are always going to be like this bag right here. This bag is definitely expensive. What I always tend to do is I check the market, play the market all the time. You can see this one is 50k. It's 50k for this specific bag. This is the biggest bag in the game, so you always check it. And what this is actually asking for is 2 items, an Etro and also 2 of the coins. What you could do is I always hit fill first. You can see 20k. When you check back, it realizes it was 50k, so I'm saving 30k and I'm also able to sell it. So we're going to add the items really quickly. If you don't always want to add the items, what I would recommend doing is wishlisting them. As you can see, add to wishlist, and it wishlists both of those items. When you see them in a raid, if you're doing covert ops or even tactical ops, you would wishlist both of those items, and there's going to be like a little sign on the top of the item that is telling you that, okay, you are wishlisting this item. You're able to find this if you do find it in a raid. So we're going to exchange for that bag, and we have that bag. And now when I go back into here and I want to sell the bag, you can basically see here right now, when I'm selling this bag, just sell it for like the bottom, because everyone does this. Sell it for the bottom. You can see at the bottom right here, you always pay a fee. So you waste a little bit, not too much, depending on the item. And you can see right here, I'm getting 100, basically 101k. Anyway, we're 110 if you're selling it, if you're listing it, but it's going to go down because of the listing fee, and you get 100k, 101k. So that is all. So that's a big jump up there as well. So I have 2 of these bags. And if you sell one, you see how much you ended up getting, 50k. So it's not horrible. But I have 2. So if I decide to end up selling those 2, I can definitely get onto that train as well and sell both of them. But I'll save it just for the meantime. The next item here now is the helmets. The helmets tend to go really expensive. This is a T6 helmet. Most of the time I see a lot of people do use this T6 helmet. You can see the T6 helmet does go for 133k, and if you want to fill this, you can see, so these items, this goes on to a gold item, so this can definitely change the price a lot. And then the lenses, which is 4k each. What you can do, like I said, the same thing. You go and you search to see how much the item. You can see it just changed. It was 150 or so, okay, and it just changed down to 140. And see, there you go. You can see this cost can change. If you hit refresh, it can change. Sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up. But for most of the time, this is always like the best price. Not all the time, but you can definitely change it and see if it changes or not. So you can see 47k. I refresh it and it doesn't change. You can see this is a set price, so this is the best to get it at. So take that helmet, and everything I barter from Deke, I sell. 90% of the time I sell it. Most of the time I won't sell it if it comes on to this vest. I like this vest. I always find this vest at pretty cheap. So you can see most of the time this is always stick at 57k. The hats I've seen it gone is 60k, but haven't seen it gone past 60k at all. So that right now is 57k, and if I want to fill it, 54. I keep refreshing it because I always find it a little lower, but once it gets any higher than 50, so okay, do not buy it. But most of the time, I have always bought that from there all the time. That's always very handy. The next best thing I like to buy is the ammo. The ammo is very handy. I like to buy the ammo sometimes if it's M80s or M62s, M61s. I've got an M61s really cheap. This is just AP which isn't too bad. So you can see what you always do. I always go in here, the same thing, the same process applies. You go in, if it's selling at 90 for 3 stacks, I go in, okay, 82k, and I try to fill, and this is 60k. This isn't horrible. 60k isn't bad. But you can just refresh to see, and I see I just saved 2k basically. So you can say I basically saved a little bit of coin, and I'm able to just buy it, and if it sticks at the same exact price, I can save the AP 60k again, and I don't save, is okay. But most of the time this is always ideal to buy it at this price, and then I just go back in and then I sell it. The same thing applies. Like most of these big ticket items is what I do it with. So you can see 58k, and then I go in here, if it sells, this is way too high, so I do not buy it. This is not worth it. You can see it goes up. So that means the price just changed for the armored rig itself. So you can see why it jumped up that high. That means the armored rig on the market change sometimes, so it does change. I may be wrong there, but I've always seen it done that. So that's why I ended up saying that. So you can go in here, do the same thing with all of this, and then you can go from there. You can go through all the other contacts and then you work from there. So now let's get into the next idea of saying, is it really that easy? Okay, so we ended up selling those items on the market. You can see all the items that I just bought from Deke. I just dropped them right back into the market and be able to make a smaller profit. Profit is profit no matter how big, no matter how small. So the next point to the question, which we said, it sometimes can be no. Depending on how good you are doing tactical ops, it really depends on how good you are to really do raids on tactical ops and also coverts. For me, don't be afraid to do coverts. Coverts is always the best way to make money. Most of the time, you're not always going to find a lot of tactical ops. For me, when I'm a covert, I always like to fight tactical ops because that's where the money is. That's where all the loot is. But most of the time, I don't find anything. So just go to like one of the more hot spots. The only thing you really have to worry about is going to be other coverts. So that can definitely ruin it. So that's why I would say the next part of that question would be no. It can be very hard to do that. But if you can try to be as passive as possible most of the time, you're able to make money. But the next part of that question, no, it can get really hard as a solo player like me to make coin. Sometimes even just coverts and tactical ops. For me, when I'm playing tactical ops and I'm playing solo, it does get really hard because you are most of the time, 99% of the time, you're going to be up against a squad. And sometimes you'll be able to win against that squad. You can, if you play really well, or you just die to the next person, which always happens 90% of the time. So it can get really hard as a solo player because AB is always built around squads. Most of the time that's how the game is really played off. Always play squads, but for me, I like to play solo because most of the time when you do make it out alive, all the loot is yours. But it can get really hard when you're playing. What I would always recommend to do, don't go in with like, because me, I like running in tier 4. I like running T4 all the time. But if you can invest, as you can see, all this armor here, I got from D. I got all this armor from D. So when I do really want to go full send it out on T5, T6, this is where I get all my armor from. Deke has always gotten, I've always gotten this armor from doing a lot of coverts, killing players, bundles as well. Always do get bundles. Bundles are very handy from the season. You can buy these every season reset if you can just go down here and get this. Just doing like just basically killing players or even just killing bots in lockdown. You're able to sometimes get these points. You can buy the cases like I always do, and then get these always reset. You can see the good things you can get. You have a chance to get a thermal, the cups. You got armor, ammo, anything cool. So you get a lot of good stuff from just doing this, and it does give you do have to end up wearing it because you do get operational supplies on it where you see that little square. But other than that, that's like the way that I always found the best way to make money as a free-to-play player, and I tend to do it a lot of the time as well. But short little video of basically 2 do's for it, the yeses and no's on on one question. Is it really easy to make money? Yes and no. But if you guys did enjoy it, see you guys next time.